all. You're already seated. First off, I want to say welcome back, and I think you've come back to the right place. I want to start off by reviewing the nervous system. We already spent a good in-depth conversation about it with you the other day. How much do you actually know about chiropractic?
Very little.
Very little. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just review really quick. I'm going to use this model, and the nervous system is made up of basically the brain, the spinal column, and spinal cord within the spinal column, and then the exiting nerve roots that feed your end organs, or your organ systems, your heart, your lungs, your liver, and everything else. When we have an interruption in the communication between your brain and your organs, we call that a subluxation in chiropractic terms. When you have a subluxation, normally it's caused by one of three things: thoughts, toxins, or traumas. So that's just a brief overview of chiropractic, and we can go more in depth if you have more questions. But are you guys okay to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, so I wanted to say what I think is wrong with you after reviewing all your files and everything else, and your symptoms based with your history and everything we've collected over the last couple of days. I think you have what's called Facet syndrome. And I'm going to break out the model again just to show you kind of what Facet syndrome is. When you have irritated facets in the low back, combined with your 3 children, plus your daily activities of being a mom, we think that you are a little hyperlordotic back here in the back, which means you just have an increased curve. On top of the fact that as you do your daily tasks, we have a lot of increased motion in these facets right here. These joints typically, when irritated, will cause pain that travels down the glute and into the leg. So research has shown that with chiropractic care, a lot of these things like Facet syndrome, low back pain, tends to resolve without problems. Here is an article I'd like to give you that goes over how chiropractic can help you with low back pain and how chiropractic helps a lot of people with other symptoms as well. There's also diet and nutrition advice in there along with kind of the science behind it. So to get down into what I'd like to do, I'd like to do what's called a trial of care. A trial of care is basically a 2-week period where I'm going to see you 3 times a week, and we're going to reevaluate at the end of that 2-week period and see how your condition's coming along. As long as everything is going well, we'll continue the care, and we'll continue until we progress you out of pain and out of the crisis that we're in currently. I charge $55 a visit, which does not include any modalities. We might use modalities in the circumstances that you come in, it's a bad day and you're in a lot of extra pain, or if we're going to do any kind of muscular rehab to get you back up and going at a faster pace to help kind of reinforce the chiropractic care. We don't do insurance. We find that when we do insurance, that insurance tends to try to drive what we do, and we don't give the proper care that we want to give you. If you want to bill your insurance, we will give you what's called a super bill, which you can take to your insurance, and you can be reimbursed through your insurance for the care that we've given you. But we don't want the specific care being driven by your insurance company. We've seen that happen before. Now, while we care about your pain and everything else, we want you to continue with care, even if we get you out of pain and it only takes 2 or 3 visits. Typically what happens is pain is the last symptom to arise and it's the first symptom to go away. But just because your pain goes away doesn't mean that you're in a great situation to avoid the pain altogether. When we've got you completely out of crisis care, we can go from crisis care to wellness care, which would be just keeping you out of the pain or out of the situation in general and keeping you into more prevention. It starts with you though, and it's based on what you want to proceed with. Do you have any other questions? No. Okay, well, let's get started with care.